Grade 8. At 13, I think. I would have been shocked if somebody wanted to read to me, but I do believe that hardly any of you are interested in reading by yourselves. It's a pity, because there's no easier way to learn a language than to listen to it and read it. We're going to read How the Camel Got His Hump. I believe it's by Kipling. Let's take a look. Yes, it is one of my favorite authors, very imaginative, with an ability to write poetry and a way to use language that is very, very special. This is an abridged, a shortened version of an already short story for your stunted attention spans. Kipling wrote this story for children much younger than you, How the Camel Got His Hump, but it has been shortened for you. There's some points. The world had just begun. Animals were working for the humans. There was a lazy animal that did nothing and just said hump every day. Even the clever jinn, a jinn is a spirit of the desert, was at his wits' end. At his wits' end is what I am, while trying to figure out how to make you interested in reading. In the beginning, the world was new and the animals were just beginning to work for man. Here they have capitalized it as if it was a proper noun. That's part of the license of a writer. There was a camel. It has been capitalized because it was the original camel. He lived in the middle of a howling desert. Why is it called a howling desert? Since we are handicapped when it comes to imagination, I'll just tell you. The desert is an open space where there's a lot of wind. This wind howls along, and therefore it was called a howling desert. He didn't want to work. He ate sticks and thorns and prickles, and when anybody spoke to him, he said, hump, just hump, and no more. The horse came on Monday and had a saddle on his back and said, come on and work like the rest, trot like the rest of us. Hump, said the camel. The horse went away and complained to the man. The dog came with a stick in his mouth and said, I'm on the next page now. Camel, oh camel, fetch and carry like the rest of us. Hump, said the camel. The dog went away, told the man. Presently, the reason I'm also not bothering to read the whole thing, you should be, is abridged, so a lot of the language of Kipling has already been chopped up. The ox came to him with the yoke. What's a yoke? You put it around your ox when it has to plow the field. The ox said, come and plow like the rest of us. Plow, this word is plow. Miss Kushbu, Bano, Anjali. Plow, plow. You've seen it in your geography, or I do believe it was crops, in that as well, to dig up the earth. But the camel just said hump, and the ox went away and told man. At the end of the day, the man called the horse, the dog, here it is, and the ox, and said, 303, I'm so sorry for you, but that hump thing in the desert, let me see if I can adjust this so it doesn't move around while I read. But the hump thing in the desert can't work, or he would have been here by now, so I'm going to leave him alone, and you must work a double time to make up for it. Well, I know what that feels like, to work double time. That made the three very angry, and they held a panchayat. You know what that is? On the edge of the desert. Camel came chewing a cud. To chew cud is what grazing animals do when they chew their food and then bring it up to chew it some more. I think you learned it in 3rd grade in school. The camel was chewing cud and just laughed at them. He said hump and went away again. Presently means pretty soon, right after that, there came along the jinn. This is the jinn. The D is silent. The jinn is a spirit of the desert who was in charge of all deserts. He came rolling in a cloud of dust. Here is a picture of the jinn. Jinn of all deserts, said the horse. Is it right for anyone to be idle? To be idle, Mayank, You probably know what it is. To do nothing. To be lazy is to be idle. Certainly not, said the Jinn. Well, said the horse, there's a thing in the middle of your desert with a long neck, long legs, and he hasn't done a stroke, a bit of work since Monday morning. He won't trot. Phew, said the Jinn, whistling. That's my camel. What does he say about it? He says hump, and he won't plow, said the ox. Very good, said the Jinn. I'll hump him if you will kindly wait a minute. I'm going to continue reading before I go to those questions. The Jinn rolled himself up in his dust cloak. Again, quite a pretty picture. The Jinn of the desert wears clothes made of dust. Took a walk across the desert, found the camel looking at his own reflection in a pool of water, just like you all do instead of studying. That's Miss Bano, Anjali, Akansha, Mandeep. This is what you do, This is what you do all day and spend your time on, much like the camel. My friend, said the Jinn, what's this I hear of you doing no work? The Jinn sat down with his chin in his hand. See that? While the camel looked at his own reflection in the pool of water. You've given the 3 extra work ever since Monday morning. All on account. All on account, all because of your idleness, said the Jinn. And he went on thinking with his chin in his hand.